Despite a hike in mortgage rates, Toronto's housing market is showing no signs of cooling down. The demand for housing in the area has remained strong, leaving some wondering if higher rates will have much of an impact on home sales. We're going to ask the agents now. Develle Morrison is a realtor with Bosley Real Estate. Steve Saretsky is a realtor with Sutton West Coast Realty. Develle, I will begin with you. Take me back to when the announcement was made about rates. What was your gut reaction when you heard that?
Well, before that, I would say with the stress test that came into January the 1st, I would say that that already did affect the market. So I think the interest rate announcement was sort of like step 2 for a lot of potential buyers out there, that I think it will make things a little bit more difficult for people. And the market, I would say, has already started to slow down a little bit in terms of a lot less listings have been coming out in the market this January.
Steve, with the Bank of Canada making this move and some banks following suit, what was your reaction when you heard the official announcement?
Yeah, I think obviously given the situation that we're currently in with really record low interest rates, record high debt levels, and record high house prices, I think every move that the Bank of Canada makes is going to be it's going to be noticeable. Particularly when Vancouver, around 30% of their mortgages are variable rate, given the amount of home equity lines of credit and all that sort of thing. I think that. Again, each raise, I think, does hurt the typical household in terms of what they're going to be able to borrow moving forward. So I think that will ultimately impact the market. But I think that, it's only a 25 basis point hike. So I think that you're going to need a lot more of those to really start, seeing some impact.
Just to pick up on your point that you made about variable rate mortgages and the number of people that have them, is there a chance that some people may decide, you know what, now's the time to lock in, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea if you're looking at to lock in rates. Again, obviously, historically, we're at nearly record low interest rates. So I think if someone is looking to have some security, I think a fixed-term mortgage is definitely a good idea.
Develle, when the banks start to move like this and there are promises that there may be more movement in the future, does your phone start ringing with people saying, you know what, now's the time for me to get in before it's too late?
Yeah, actually, interestingly enough, this week, I would have really expected people to jump on it back in December when we could sort of see what was going to happen in the market. But it's interesting that people are quite last minute. And it's really taken, I think, this additional interest rate announcement to get people to go, oh, wait a second, actually, I guess I better jump in right now.
Now, pre-approval is something that, a lot of people attempt to do before they actually get involved in the market. What would you suggest, Steve, for someone out there who's thinking of getting pre-approval right now?
Yeah, I think the pre-approval, a lot of these lenders will hold you in for 120 days. So I think if someone's looking to actively, get in the market and buy something, I think a pre-approval definitely makes sense. I know a lot of people were doing it prior to the January 1st stress test. We also saw a lot of activity in December. So I think a lot of people, just speaking with mortgage brokers, they were saying they were locking a lot of people. So I think it's definitely a smart move for someone that is looking to buy.
Develle, you're probably going to get the last word here.
Okay.
Any fears that with the way rates are moving, that the spring could be a lot quieter than normal?
I think actually a lot of people have been holding off now so that they can list in the spring. So I actually think that the spring will be a little bit busier because January has been so slow. There will be sort of, I think, a pent-up demand from sellers that they actually do want to sell. I do think on your previous point, though, that for most buyers right now is the time to really contact their mortgage broker, because I think it's their mortgage broker that is going to try to help them a little bit more than going to an individual bank. So I think that for a lot of first-time home buyers, if they really want to get in the market, now's the time to pick up the phone and talk to their mortgage broker, because I think that person is going to be tapped into some of the more alternative lenders that will be able to help them get a mortgage.
Develle Morrison with Bosley Real Estate, Steve Saretsky with Sutton West Coast Realty. Thank you very much.
Thank you.